Hello, welcome to my channel. My channel is called Serenity and Strength, and it covers my widowhood, single parenting, and wellness journeys. The three journeys are actually intertwined, but through it, I'm hoping that we can create a community that can support one another for all those who are going through such a journey, those who may in the future find themselves having to go through such a journey as well. And also, someone reminded me that it is also suitable for single parents, also those who are divorced, because you'll find that they too are going through a loss. Kindly subscribe, share, and like so that as many people as possible are able to come along this journey with us. With subscribing, as I've always said, it does not cost you anything, but it means that whenever there are new episodes that come up, they're able to come to you automatically without you having to look for them. My name is Joyce Onyango, and for those who are past subscribers, I say thank you very much and will appreciate any newcomers on board. The 11th of July 2026 will actually mark the 25th anniversary of my husband's passing on. As we remember him, we also are giving thanks to God for his faithfulness, for indeed he has been so faithful to us. Always Psalm 91:4, he will shelter you with his pinions, and under his wings you may take refuge. His faithfulness is a protective shield, and that indeed has been our portion. This episode will be slightly different from the previous ones. One of the boosts that I've had in this journey is what we call Chamas in Kenya, and it's just groups who come together to uplift each other financially. We were 7 in our group. We are now 6. One of us has gone to be with the Lord. God bless her soul. But our group has been together for about 37 years, and they have been a strength in so many ways. So this is a group who I consider as my sisters. In fact, we call ourselves 7 sisters. Last year, we decided that we wanted to go on a trip, and we saved for it and were able to actually execute that this year. I will share some bits of our trip. Of course, because of restrictions, I can't share everything. I believe that this is a testimony of what is possible and what many people can look forward to building towards. For those of you who are not in Kenya, this will also be an opportunity for you to have a glimpse of our coastal areas, and it may entice you at some point to come and experience it yourselves. We had booked to travel with the 8 a.m. train to Mombasa. So each of us left while it was still dark for the SGR station. We linked up and the train left on time. We arrived in Mombasa just after 2 p.m. I left while it was still dark and took an Uber to the SGR station, which was about a half hour's ride or so. And with Mombasa, it's always the sight of the baobab trees that I love, and also the humidity and the hot air, which at times gets quite overpowering. But we left for Diani using the Dogokundu bypass. Dogokundu means red soil. It's about 25 kilometers. Very, very beautiful scenery as you travel along. And we arrived at the Aqua Resort where we had booked to stay through a referral. and it's very near to the supermarkets which we visited to get some food supplies. Being the ladies that we were self-catering, but of course you find that members also carried along things like mangoes, which are very sweet organic mangoes, and also we did have some groundnuts or peanuts which we roasted. And all of these, actually the food aspect of it is what you really love in this place. So we did also do some of our own cooking, things like chapati, which is like naan, and also we made some mandazis, which are more or less like donuts. So we enjoyed all that. We had a TV in each room, but I never watched TV at all. There was also an extra bed in the sitting room if you wanted to have 3 people within the particular apartment, but there was a double bed in the bedroom, and it was quite adequate, and we did enjoy the place itself. You can see the way it is. I tried to just look around just to give a view of what it's like. Tried to look at the veranda, but I realized that it was a bit dark, so you couldn't quite see it very well, but we'll look at it in the morning. Then one thing that I found, which for me I found quite unique, was the way the bathroom walls looked. You know, I looked at it and I said, wow, something I liked. I had not seen something of this sort before, and I just said, well, let me keep it in mind for future reference. You never know what you could do with something like that, but it looked nice. Then of course in the morning I went outside to see the veranda, look what it's like, and you find that there were some trees around, so we had some seeds that had fallen, so it was not that clean, but the space was really good. And that is the place that we sat for all our meals. You had the breeze, you had the birds singing outside, and when it became too hot, you had the shade with the hanging curtains that are there, and it actually had doors from both the sitting room and the bedroom leading to it, so that was quite also convenient. It was a space which we used quite a bit for breakfast and all our meals, as I said. Then I just had a peek at the compound itself. Somebody had taken quite a bit of care in doing that, and I imagined if it had rained and there was grass, how beautiful it would look, but still it looked quite nice. So after breakfast we went to the beach and just spent some time walking along the beach without any shoes on, and it was a very, very nice feeling, you know, walking up and down. It's a public beach, not very far from the place, but it was not crowded at all because it was off-peak. Kept on washing our feet with the waves, and I felt that very, very therapeutic and really wonderful to be able to see God's creation. And I kept on wondering that at what other part of the world this same ocean, this is the Indian Ocean, was also washing someone else's feet. We also met some women, or some young ladies actually, who was from Nairobi, and they said they'd also traveled the day before and they were winding down. We also got to drink madafu, that is the fresh coconut juice, which is very, very healthy as well, and it is said to have quite a lot of electrolytes. We decided to sit under a shade and just enjoy the view as we talked and caught up and watched people drift by. We saw one person who was kite surfing, and other times you'd find that you'd also find people jet skiing. There'd also be camel riding and such other activities, and also you do find that you'd have glass bottom boats that you can actually go onto the ocean, and you'd be able to see fish through the glass bottom. The next day we went to Likoni Ferry and crossed over because we were going to go to the nature reserve, and that was Nguni Nature Reserve, where we found a lot of animals: giraffe, ostrich, oryx, elards, and even tortoise. And also you find that you're given a guard who goes around with you and gives you the details of the various animals. There were also birds, but we didn't actually do any bird watching, but we did enjoy the time that we were there, and we carried a picnic lunch and had it in the shaded huts that are provided for visitors. With the crossover at the Likoni Ferry, we also enjoyed that very much and did it several times, because each time we had to go to the mainland we'd have to cross, and it was also a very nice view that we had. The second day, we toured Fort Jesus and a bit of Old Town, and we got to know the history of the coastal area, which was also very interesting for some of us who had actually never quite gotten to know that history. Once we had done that, then we tried to look for a place where we could actually go and have a meal after walking through Old Town. And we did get a place called Creek View Cafe, which serves Ugandan food. I was so happy to see sweet potatoes and groundnut sauce, and oops, I forgot to take the picture before the meal, but you can see how much I enjoyed the meal because I more or less finished everything. I even treated myself to tangawizi, which is actually ginger beer or ginger ale. It's actually ginger ale, and enjoyed it very much. From there, we went to Markiti, where we were able to buy some things, and then went back to Diani. With the vendors, wherever you are, whether it's at Markiti, at the beach, or any place, do actually bargain with them. This was going to be our fourth and final night, so we spent some time by the poolside, just enjoying the breeze and the birds, and I hope you can hear them, and the ambience, and just generally bonding. It was evening, so some leaves had fallen into the pool, so we just enjoyed sitting by the pool. We didn't intend to go in because the pool still needed cleaning. We thank God for how far He has brought us and all our families. Of course, we remembered our departed sister. She's always in our hearts. May she rest in peace. And we later on got ready for the trip that we're going to make the next day. Because the next day, we're going to leave at about 11 o'clock so that we would go and have our lunch at the SGR, at the restaurant center at the SGR. We were traveling with the 3 p.m. SGR train, and we left on time. We traveled back up, crossed the Makupa Causeway, left the Indian Ocean and Mombasa behind, and we went through the Tsavo National Park, where there were elephants, giraffes, zebra, and antelopes. There are various sites that are always pointed out in the train, and you're able to see the Taita Hills and the other hills. On clearer days, you'll even be able to see Mount Kilimanjaro, which is snow-capped. We arrived at Syokimau station at about 8 p.m. to the cold Nairobi weather after having left the heat and the humidity of Mombasa. Just a few pictures that we had taken. That is the arrival. Also at the beach, drinking badaf. That is the coconut juice, fresh coconut juice. We actually found it really, really nice to be able to create memories, wind down, spend quality time with those who genuinely care for you, and surrounding yourself with positive vibes. And what I could say is that really you need to intentionally make or create such opportunities for yourself, because it is very, very therapeutic for yourself. Sometimes it may not be a whole getaway, but a getaway is worth it. This is me standing near a baobab tree, and this is a very old one. They stay for up to more than 1,000 years or so, and I always wonder, what would they be able to tell us if they could speak? So just looking at it, I always feel it has got so much character. Of course, the motorbike behind is not mine or ours, but it is for the border riders or the riders or couriers who normally either carry people or take things. Then just a last view of the ocean, which itself is very therapeutic. We're told that the sunrises are very good and the sunsets. Maybe next time we are going to try to take that in as well. And there I arrived home to Nairobi. It was cold and very different kind of environment and atmosphere. But I brought that Mombasa with me. And there I am, just showing that I have arrived back. Do like, share, and subscribe. And bye. See you in the next.